My mama loved the Lord. My grandmama loved the Lord, but she was crazy. You know, I don't know if any of you have had grandmamas like that. If you grew up with a grandmama that would threaten you and hurt you. Anybody out there know what I'm talking about? I had a grandmama. She was crazy. She was the kind of grandmama that would go to school with you. If you did something wrong, she'd show up at the school and talk to the principal, and she'd come to school with a belt in her hand. You know a grandmama like that? She'd come to school with a belt in her hand, and she would just stand there. What did he do? Well, Miss Richardson, he was caught cheating on a test. Cheating on a test? Boy, didn't I tell you about cheating on a test? What else did he do? Well, he stole somebody's lunch. Boy, don't you ever steal nothing in this school again. My grandmama, she just used to tear us up. I knew my grandmama meant business. She was the kind of grandmama, if she told you not to touch nothing, don't touch nothing. The first time I learned that, she said, boy, if you touch that, I will cut your fingers off. I'm like, Grandma, you ain't cut my fingers off. I walked over and tried to test it. I touched it. That woman cut my fingers off. My parents came to get me up. I was sitting on the porch, crying. I couldn't even talk. My parents came over. What's wrong with you, boy? I couldn't. You know that kind of crying when you almost throw up when you're little. You be crying so hard you almost throw up. What happened to your son? Grandma, mama cut my fingers off. She cut your fingers off, boy. Didn't I tell you not to touch nothing up in here? My grandmama, she used to love, she loved the Lord, but she was crazy. She would tear you up if she needed to. Now, there's a little difference in that. My grandma was an old school grandma. I don't know if any of you know the difference between an old school grandma and a new school grandma. Now, old school grandma, my grandmama, she used to go through the house. My grandmama knew every hymn in the hymnal and could sing every one of them. We used to test her sometimes. Grandma, what is 274? Oh, the blood of Jesus. What's 78? We're marching to Zion. Beautiful, beautiful Zion. What's 320? What a fellowship, what a joy divine. See, Mama, what is 178? Amazing. I don't know what it is about Amazing Grace. Whenever my grandma was singing on Zing, she always did. Amazing. And she could hold a maid for a long time. She'd be all the way in the kitchen. She'll wait till she get in the kitchen. Amazing Grace. So we try to catch her. Mama, what's 478? Maybe ain't but 400 hymns in that book. Ain't no 478. She knew all the hymns. But she was an old school grandmama. Different than new school grandmama. You know, new school grandmama got different, it's a different time, different thing. Back then when we was growing up, you couldn't do all that stuff. You could hit your kids, there wasn't no laws. They got laws now for stuff like that. Old school grandmama didn't care. She'd tear you up just as soon as look at you if you were stepping out of line. Old school grandmama, I remember my grandmama, she could cook, she could get up at 5 in the morning. She'd get dressed for church on a Sunday morning. She'd put a roast in the oven. She'd put greens on the stove. She'd have a cornbread made. She'd be at church before you get there with the auxiliary, praying for people. You go to church, she'd be in the choir. Church is over. You come home, she in the kitchen. I'm like, you was, how did you get from the choir to the kitchen before we got home? That's an old school grandmama. That's just the way she used to do things. Always had to, you come home from church, dinner was always ready. Y'all remember that? Dinner was always prepared. Grandmama had everything laid out. She didn't miss a beat. You try it with a new school grandma, what you gonna get? A microwave? Baby, go on and put that in a microwave. Or what's she gonna do? Take you to Luby's? Papados? New school grandmama don't do stuff like that. My folks used to send us to grandmama's house during the summertime so we could learn how to do some hard work. Learn how to clean and do stuff. You can't do that with a new school grandmama because she still got a job. New school grandmama about 40, 45 years old still. Old school grandmama is old, okay? She was always at home. New school grandma ain't got time for that. You take your kids over now to your mama's house for them to get some discipline. She ain't disciplining them kids. She ain't breaking her nails. I just bought this hair. I just got my hair done. I ain't getting this hair messed up over these kids. You go over and pick your kids up at the end of the day, they sitting on the good couch, eating ice cream, watching Judge Judy. You're like, Mama, you ain't taught these kids nothing. What y'all do today? Mama took us to the mall. We went to Six Flags, and then we went to Chuck E. Cheese and got some pizza. I wish I could ask the old school. I wish I would have asked my grandmama something like that, like if she'd take me somewhere. Mama, can you take us to the mall? Baby, what's the mall? Well, it's a place up, down the street where you go and you can shop and you can look for clothes. And baby, you better go on upstairs and fold them clothes up. Look for them socks you lost last night. I ain't got time to take you to no mall. Well, can you take us to Chuck E. Cheese? What is Chuck E. Cheese? Well, it's a place, they got a big old rat in there that runs around and does dances and everything. Baby, we got rats in the kitchen. You ain't got to go nowhere. Well, can you take us to Six Flags? What is Six Flags? Well, Six Flags is a place where they got a lot of rides and you can go on rides and spend all day. You go to the water park, get wet. Baby, you better go in the backyard, feed that dog, put the hose out, get wet out there. I ain't got time for all that. I'm making dinner. Mama was always making dinner. The time she get up, she was making dinner. From morning all the way till the end of the day. Dinner was good, but she was always making dinner. She didn't have time for that. The old school grandmama, new school grandmama, different things. Different things in the church too. For instance, there's a difference between white church and black church. I went to a funeral a couple weeks ago. It was a white church. A white Baptist, Southern Baptist church. They do funerals a little different. Like they know how to control time. Okay? They don't let everybody come over here and talk for 2 minutes. The pastor that runs the funeral, he gets up, he takes all the comments, he meets with the family beforehand, and he hears all the stories and listens to everybody talk about the dearly departed, and he'll get up and he'll share with everyone the story. And the family wants us to just let everyone know how our sister Lynn loved laughter, and she loved to play with her family, and she loved her children. In fact, there's a story about her and her son and the funny things that they used to do. And the family just wanted us to share with you that Lynn was a lovely, lovely person. And we are going to miss her. You go to a black funeral. I ain't never been to a black funeral where anybody has spoke for 2 minutes. You know, they always put that in the bulletin, remarks 2 minutes. I ain't never been to no funeral where anybody spoke for 2 minutes. And you gotta be careful what people say, and you gotta be careful who you let up to the microphone, because you liable to get anything. So they step up here to give their comments. Yeah, I remember me and Ray, we went to that club back when we were 17, 18 years old. We tore it up. We hung out at that club all night. We met these girls, we went down to the bar, and then we had a couple drinks, and we played pool, and we were smoking that stuff. We were just doing, and the dearly departed, Ray in the casket going, shh. They don't know that. They don't know that kind of stuff. It's just a different thing. Different kind of churches, old school, new school, different kind of thing. One of the things in the church is